Welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube, and I'd like to unveil to you my latest purchase. Well, it's not really my latest purchase. I bought it back last September, but it's finally here. It is a 1994 Ferrari 456 GT with the gated manual transmission, 12-cylinder engine, and only 9,900 kilometers. So that's like 6,000 miles. Now, this was not the cheapest gated 456 in the USA. It was the cheapest in the world. Well, probably not, but I actually bought this thing from Dubai. It spent all of its life before that in Japan, and I actually imported it. The process took months, lots of paperwork, thousands of dollars, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. I don't want to give away the whole tamale because this is going to be my car trek vehicle, but there was a lot more spent to get this car here, what happened to it in transit, and the repairs resulting from that, which we're going to cover today. In addition, we're going to stop by Mako because they've had some major progress on the Maybach, and also go up to the Wizards to check on all the progress of the cars up there and give this thing one last oil change and a look over before I leave for car trek. When this video goes live, I should be on the car trek, and hopefully this thing's still in one piece at the end of it, because it's a museum piece. But before we do that and talk about what it took to get this beautiful Pininfarina style beauty to the United States, I'd like to thank Tempest for sponsoring today's video and sponsoring Car Trek. You all are familiar with them because they are our main sponsor for Car Trek. They combine all the automotive listing sites on one website. So one click gives you access to listings across the entirety of the internet. It also gives you the ability to specialize, like if you want a 456 with only a manual transmission, you can click that. You can select various styles and options so you can find the perfect car. It is a great source for searching for something very specific that you're looking for nationwide, something rare like this, and it's actually how I found this Ferrari. It was actually in Dubai for sale, but listed on a United States kind of obscure website, and I came across it and thought, oh, that's perfect, and then imported it here. So if you all are like me and are shopping for cars constantly, maybe not buying as much, but always shopping, Tempest is the best source, and since they support me and Car Trek, it is very important you use them. Clicking on the link below shows you how interested you are in their product. So you clicking and searching for cars, a very fun, easy thing to do, makes Car Trek possible. So click on Tempest below, and now let's get into this 456 importation thing. Now, there are a lot of cars overseas new that I would love to own and import them and bring them here, but you can't do that because of all the EPA restrictions, or maybe you can. There's a few that slip through, but it costs way too much money to make sense. But there is a little magic that happens if you're patient, and that is the 25-year rule. In the United States, you can import any car you want, and if it's over 25 years old, it is exempt from EPA restrictions or Department of Transportation safety standards. You can just import the car as is, tag it, and use it. Now, it's up to your local state laws whether you can actually use it in the state. Some of them have emissions testing, but in Kansas, I don't have to worry about that one bit. Now, you're probably thinking transportation to bring this whole giant car across a continent was pretty expensive, and it's not as much as you think. I actually shared this container with another Ferrari, and it looked like a transmission was tucked in there somewhere based on the bill of lading, and the whole cost to bring this from Dubai to the United States was only $1,500. Quite a deal, but that wasn't the bulk of the cost. I have it all here on my phone. I'll put up a screenshot. There's the documentation to show that this car can legally be here. This company, West Coast Shipping, was able to facilitate all the paperwork, get it out of the shipping container, out of the docks, out of customs, then on a transporter coming to Kansas. And all of that cost, well, $500 for the paperwork, another $500, well, it's actually $700 and something for the handling and the unloading, and there was the import duties. The United States did charge me a couple of percentage points based on what I paid for the car, the taxes to import it, and then enclosed transportation here to Kansas was another $1,750. So $1,500 for the shipping container, and then another almost $5,000 to get it here to Kansas. So a lot of money for it to get here, but when it arrived, it was love at first sight. Just look at the beautiful, subtle lines of the 456. So there's the expensive but fully loaded Camry level purchase price, and then $6,500 $100 in fees to get it here, but I wasn't done yet. To tag this thing, I had to pay sales tax just like any other car you buy used. So that was another $3,000 or $4,000, I think, with tags and tax. And then there was, of course, the trip to the Car Wizard, because this thing arrived looking beautiful, but not running on half of its cylinders and some other issues. Now, it wasn't the seller's fault. It was actually kind of the fault of what happened in transit, which I will explain at the Car Wizards. But first, we are going to drive over to Mako and check on the Maybach and the Hoopty Cadillac that are having a lot of progress. So let's roll. Hey, Barry.
Hey, Obi. Welcome to Mako.
Yeah, could you paint that one purple for me?
I can do that anytime you want. Drop it off.
No,
5 days.
No. No. I heard there's a big hole in my Maybach.
There is a big hole in your Maybach.
It's actually required we do this before fixing it, so is it in the back? I can take a look?
In the back. Help
All right,
yourself.
thank you. Wow, look at this F-150 Ranger getting rust repair, but here it is, my Copart Maybach. I bought the cheapest Maybach in the USA, but salvage title. It had been in quite a little accident back here. The door was completely destroyed in the rear quarter. The door has already been replaced up at the Wizards, looking good, but the quarter, well, it's going to need some work. You can see they've cut it all off, and you can see the inside part that was all pushed in. They've started to pull on it, and they've stopped. I'm told they need to remove the rear glass so they can pull on this C-pillar a little more. They're also going to cut quite a bit of it off and put on the new one that is sitting over here. And actually, I got a nice surprise here. Inside of the fender is actually the modules, this vacuum thing that's hissing at me that was broken. They were kind enough to leave it in there, so it should hook right up. So that's good news. The bad news is the rear window coming out. The problem with that is the curtains and everything else. It's a very delicate operation, and if it breaks, this is $3,000. $3,000 if it breaks, and that's used. So really don't want it to break because we've already spent a lot of money on this Maybach, but at least there's progress. There's actually one other member of the Hoopty fleet here, and it is a Hoopty in every sense of the origin word. My old Cadillac Fleetwood that is apparently out of paint. Let's go see if it's in their finishing area. Oh yeah, this is my 91 Fleetwood with only 55,000 miles on it. It is in excellent shape on the inside and mechanically, actually, even though it's been sitting for over a decade. It's just the paint, well, back in the day wasn't the best of quality, so it didn't hold up very well. I had Wizards Apprentice strip off all of the pieces so they didn't have to mask all that much, and they painted it. And well, this is fresh out of paint, so they haven't done a final buff and correction yet, but actually looks very nice. So you can see they're noting things like runs in the paint, little things they need to fix, but there was quite a bit of damage and grandpa marks, you know, just dents and dings all over this thing, and they've definitely taken it all out and gotten it smooth. So it looks really, really nice, actually. I have new bumper fillers for it that are going to be painted, and then it will go back up to the Car Wizards to be reassembled. And speaking of Wizard, we're going to go up there right now and check on the projects, also give the Ferrari an oil change, a final once-over before the car trick. Wizard!
What's going on?
Well, scheduled oil change.
Yes, time for an oil change on the 456.
After all the work you've done, are you doing it?
He's doing it. See the patch?
Oh, he got the Ferrari patch today. All right, Magic Mike, B12 oil change, probably 8,000 quarts.
Probably.
Yeah. But there's actually quite a bit of work done to this thing beforehand.
Yes.
It showed up from Dubai with no fuel in the tank, and that completely nuked the fuel pumps. And Wizard has a fancy fix for that, involving something with a Kia. Yes?
Kia Rondo fuel pumps.
Kia Rondo fuel pumps, which saved me thousands of dollars.
Yes.
There's 2 fuel pumps in there. You're able to adapt Kia fuel pumps. Strange. But there was also the other weird thing with the connector of a crank sensor, right?
Yeah, with the crank sensor, some of the wiring, it looked like it had been attempted to be repaired before, and it didn't turn out very well. And once we got it repaired properly, the ECU was able to see that side of the engine's turning and turn that side of the engine on.
Nice. So that was fixed, then the car ran right.
Yes.
Brakes, there was an issue. That's another cheap part, right?
Yeah, that comes off of like a Chevy Suburban.
It was
in the
a
80s.
brake valve for the
It's Tempest brakes, and it's just a pressure sensor. It's the same one they use for Hydro Boost brakes. They use them all over the place, a little green sensor.
It showed up with no power brakes. He was able to fix it with the 80s Chevy truck part.
Yes, it's
So
an identical part.
So this Ferrari's been pretty blessed. There was a blower motor that was a Ferrari part. Finally, we had to do a Ferrari part. But other than that, all sorted out, ready for Car Trek. Just needs an oil change, which you're going to do.
Yep.
I guess while he's doing that, why don't you take me around to the hoopties. The GL, you found the source of the leak?
Yes.
Nice. I'd already mentally let go of this thing in my head, but
Oh, yeah?
I guess we're fixing it now.
All these rubber lines here, and including this clip was missing,
Oh.
and it was just spouting fuel out down the front of the engine, down the V of the engine. We're still cleaning it and driving it and cleaning it. There was so much fuel everywhere that to be sure that we got all the fuel leaks fixed, in the frame rails there was fuel, inside of them it's just so much.
So I drove this GL for months with this massive leak. I assumed it was oil, but it was actually diesel, and it was coated the whole underside of the car, and yeah, it was quite dangerous actually. But it is leaking some other stuff, but you're still cleaning, yes?
Yeah, we're still cleaning. The rest of the leaks are very, very tiny. There's a power steering leak we found. We did put a new hose on the reservoir.
Oh.
From the reservoir to the pump.
Nice.
That was your leak there. But
okay.
So far, no hemorrhaging fuel leaks. We're just going through and having to clean and clean and clean and clean.
Perfect. All right. Well, how about my other hoopties? There's something under the cover there that I'm not going to unveil yet.
No.
But the Woody.
The Woody is done. I just had to, this morning, rearrange 2 heater hoses. They were backwards. I got that fixed, and now it has heat. Actually, you could go drive it if you wanted to.
It's done?
Yes.
It's like ready to take home.
You could drive it. I want to make sure the heater's good to go. I mean, you could take it if you wanted to, but I would say it's 99% done.
Wow.
We also fixed your rattle back here with the
hatch? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely a little more rubber there.
got a little rubber piece there.
Oh, that'll stop it from vibrating itself to death.
Now it closes like a Porsche.
Nice. Very good, wizard.
We've not done anything to your Grand Wagoneer yet.
Well, you've been busy on this one.
Yes.
But it just got here out of Mako.
Yep.
Okay. Diablo, we're still waiting on the steering rack rebuild. Yep. And the sticky button center console, which they sent a quote for all that console stuff that was all sticky and nasty, and it was quite expensive.
Yes, it was very expensive. We gave them the go-ahead, but it was pretty high.
Like $2,500 for them to do all of it, which is more than the rack rebuild, but I imagine it's a pretty labor-intensive process to get whatever horrible coating they put on these cars off and then a new coating on.
Right. Probably multiple steps.
Yep, and there's not many people in the country that do it, so they can charge whatever they want.
Yep.
And how about the Porsche?
We got the accelerator pedal mounted just a way that Beck Spider told us to do.
Yeah, my Subaru powered Spider replica. It's actually the same color as the Ferrari almost.
This makes a horrible noise, but it's the way it's supposed to be.
Crunchy.
When you close it, it pops. But it's got a linkage going to the gas pedal.
Okay. Because it's an electronic pedal. Because
yep, they instructed
Subaru.
us that we're supposed to make a rod that goes from the original pedal to the electric pedal, and that's what we did, and it works great.
Perfect. So what's left?
This guy up. We're waiting on some fuel fittings for the fuel pressure regulator and then to the fuel pump. And then we're going to try to start it once they arrive.
Whoa. So I imagine by the time I get back from Car Trek, you'll be cranking this thing over and starting it.
Very likely.
How about that? Well, you'll be coming with me for the first part of the trek because of the wizard segment.
Yes.
Teleport yourself into there for everything that's wrong, but I kind of have the inside edge, don't I, here?
Yeah, I think you might win this one.
Yeah, Ed and Freddie, they got some real winners, so check that out. It'll probably go live on Tavares' channel sometime early May.
Okay.
And thanks again to Auto Tempest for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you go search on Auto Tempest right now for a car. Right now, just go down and click to support Hoovie's Garage, and Car Trek really helps us out. And thank you for watching.